Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another video. Today, we're going to do another beat breakdown. The beat we're going to be breaking down exactly is the last one I mentioned in the last video I uploaded about demotivation in music. If you want to watch that one, the last one on my channel, or I'll link a card in the top right just for you guys. But yeah, this one's called Red. It's a drill beat. I'm very happy with how it came out. And I'm just going to break down how I made it because it's quite simple. And I think, yeah, without further ado, let's get into it. So here we are in FL Studio as always. We're at 145 BPM, which is about the right BPM for drill music. I did start this beat in A minor, but it is pitched down to C sharp minor, just in case you're wondering. But I'll be referring to notes as numbers in the scale so that this can be used in pretty much any scale that you use. So without further ado, let's get into the first pattern. The first instrument is in the ethnic category in Expand 2. We're using the 20th preset here. It's called Les Andes. And it's like a flute type thing. Sounds really cool. And all it's doing is playing these bass notes. They're copied up an octave. Very, very simple. For effects, I've just merged the stereo field and I've put a low cut and a little bit of a high roll off here just to give it its own space, but it sounds like this. Very simple. The next one I went to a simple arpeggio. It's the 14th preset called Club Fog. And here we're playing slightly different notes. This time we're going up one semitone to the third, which is the E, and then back down an interval in the scale. Very simple stuff. And again, for effects, we've just got an EQ cutting out the low end to make room for the sub frequencies when we add an 808. So in context, it sounds like this. Just gives a little bit of rhythm, a little bit of bounce to the melody. I like it a lot. Now, the third instrument I added was a Pizzicato Violins 2 from BBC Symphony Orchestra. This is a free VST. You should go cop it if you haven't already. But playing a pretty basic melody that repeats every 4 bars. This is a, you call this a C sharp suspended 4? C sharp minor suspended 4 or something like that. Arpeggiated chord. Basically, it's just playing these 3 notes. And then for the second bar, we're following the same bounce. Keep in mind, we're in the 1/3 beat and we're playing every second grid here. Something that is important is the G sharp, which is the 5th, is actually playing pretty much the entire time throughout this melody. Something to keep in mind. And it's not so much what other notes are playing, it's more the rhythm. So you'll see that the rhythm is the same throughout the entire melody. And there is a common tonal theme, like a sound that's reoccurring and sort of acts as an anchor for the whole melody. But in context, sounds like this. For effects, we've got this narrowband EQ. We've got this effect rack with the preset Sunken Treasure. This is in sound design, and then Sunken Treasure right here. I believe I've turned the mix level down a slight amount so that you can still hear a little bit of the dry signal, and so that there's a little bit of attack in the sound still and it's not completely drowned out. But yeah, that's the sound we got there. The second to last melodic sound we've got here is just the violin 1s in BBC Symphony Orchestra. Once again, we're in the long playing style, I guess you could call it. And this is just playing another slight variation on the first 2 melodies that I showed you. In context, sounds like this. Another thing to mention is these dark sounding semitone steps that I've utilized here. Really help to build tension as always, so that's one thing to keep in mind. Now this audio file here comes from this bus which these 2 expands are routed to. Basically on here we've got a gross beat that's got halftime and this fade in volume curve. We've got an effect rack with the preset ambient dotted 8th. This is just the first delay preset. But I noticed playing just these 3 instruments and switching these 2 presets around, it makes an interesting sound. I'll play it, I'll see if I can recreate it here for you. All I did was record that into Edison and drag it into the playlist here. Called it string pop because I didn't really know what to call it. And yeah, they're all the basic melodic elements. Pretty simple stuff, but definitely sets the scene for these dark drill beats. Moving on to the drums now. Got this basic open hat. I throw a couple of effects on here. We've got an EQ cutting out a lot of the really high frequencies. Then I've got a fruity fast distortion with these parameters. And another EQ to cut out some of the really low frequencies that the distortion created. And now the open hat sounds like this. Just a lot grittier, a little bit darker, less sparkly, if you will. I think it suited the track a lot better than the original. And it's just playing this really simple pattern. Very basic. Next, we've got this hi-hat. These two drum sounds, the open hat and the hi-hat, both come in Cody's 2022 Essentials drum kit. It's a free drum kit. You should go cop it. It's fire. We're just playing this very, very basic hi-hat drill pattern. The way I made it is just go on quarter beat step. You put a hi-hat on the 1, skip 2, put another one, skip 2, put another one. And then basically you copy and paste this over. And then for these last 2 bars here, I just filled in these two notes, and then I tapered the velocity up to give it a little bit of a bounce. And yeah, that's how I made it. Very simple. With the open hat, sounds like this. Also, I forgot to mention that I also panned these 3 notes here left and right just to give it a little bit of variation, a little bit more bounce. Next, we've got the stock standard drill snare pattern. This is the 14K snare. This is from Tri-Freezer's Atlanta Culture 2 drum kit. This is also a free drum kit. You should go cop it as well. Sounds like this. Next, we've got this shot effect. Pretty basic stuff. I did throw a ping pong delay 3 on here just so it bounced back and forth. But apart from that, it's very simple. It's just playing twice in the first bar every so often when I put it in the arrangement here. Next up, I've got this kick. Also from the Atlanta Culture 2 drum kit. I've just got a fast distortion with these parameters and a fruity soft clipper just to give it a little bit more punch, a little bit more grit. And it's just playing this pattern. Very, very simple. Now for the interesting stuff, the source. We've got 2 808s. The first 808 I've got is this Drill Essentials 808 number 2 by Ocean. This is in his free drum kit as well. Pretty sure it's called Ocean's Drill Essentials or something like that. And then this is 808 number 4 from Prod by Jack's free drum kit that he just released as well. So all of these are free drum sounds that you should go get, definitely. And something that I threw on both of these 808s is a Spaz plugin, free distortion plugin. If you don't know if you haven't heard of it for some reason, made by Cole Beats. This Love preset is fire. Really makes it sound nice and wide and fat and stereo, which is super fire. And I'm going to go through and show you each of the patterns one by one. So this is the first and the main drill pattern. Basically plays the root notes. Nothing too crazy happening here. We've got 2 slides up here, which are just, I believe, pitched up 2 octaves. So really nothing very crazy. Very simple. And then that also alternates with the other 808 from the Prod by Jack kit. We've just got a double pump, I guess you call it, coming into these 4 notes. The rhythm, again, stays the same, but what I do is I change the notes to give it a little bit of variation. So the first time we go E to E flat or D sharp, which is this semitone I'm talking about. Builds a lot of tension, sounds really dark, really, really good for these types of beats. And then we go from the C sharp to the E again, but this time we're going up a whole tone leading into the 7th bar. And the reason I choose 2 808s is because this sort of sounded like, correct me if I'm wrong, I don't really know the correct terminology, but like a grime 808 or something like that. And you can see the arrangement here that it's sort of a call and response type vibe where you have the drill 808 and then the other 808 come in. They sort of pass back between each other and it sounds really fire. But yeah, I'm going to stop talking about it. I'm going to show you what it sounds like. super fire. So that's all the sounds basically, apart from this riser that I've got and I use in most of the beats. Yeah, we've got a pretty basic arrangement. We've got a 16-bar intro introducing all of the melodic sounds. Then we've got a pre-hook where we bring in both of the 808s, and then we have 2 beats of the hi-hat and just a kick on the 1 coming into the hook, where we introduce all the sounds. And then for the second part of the hook, I cut out this second 808 for the first half, which is just this section here. And then I cut out the second bar for most of the drums, which I do also in a lot of my other beats. Really builds up anticipation, makes the hook go even harder. And then again, another common thing I do in my beats is the first 8 bars of the verse. I strip away 99% of the melodic elements and the drums for 2 bars. And then after those 2 bars have ended, all the drums come back in, usually by way of some riser like I've used here. Again, this goes super hard. You should try this in your arrangements. And then we've sort of done some other stuff for the next 16 bars. Bring back in these string pops and cut these pizzicato violins for 2 bars, just to build up some anticipation for the next part of the verse. Also, for the last 2 beats of this section of the verse, we brought in the sliding 808, because we do bring it in with the snare in the last part of the verse. And then again, as this builds up into the hook again, you can see that we've got this kick and these hi-hats. We have the kick coming back in before the hook as well, and then it just repeats, where the first part of the verse is used as the outro here, and we've just got a fade on the volume automation on the master channel. So yeah, that's basically how you make dark trap beats for people like Pop Smoke or Fivio Foreign, you know, those 808 Mafia type beats. But yeah, that's gonna be it. I want to appreciate you all for watching. If you liked the video, like the video, subscribe if you want to see more content, hit the bell notification to be notified next time I post a video. But yeah, as always, take it easy, stay safe, stay healthy, and I'll see you in the next video. I love you.